And now it's time for totally 100% certified authentic news with your host, Joey Young. Coming to you deep in the heart of Texas with all the up-to-the-minute news you need to know. And now, here's your host, Joey Young.
All right, thank you, me, and thank you, and welcome to the first ever podcast / radio show of totally 100% certified authentic truth news, or as I like to call it in your easy-to-remember acronym, TOPCAT News. I'm, of course, your host, Joey Young, and I will be bringing you all of the news that you need to know that you didn't think you needed to know. So let's get right on down to it with your national news. With the recent spike in mass shootings around the U.S., President Biden has once again began talks of gun control. His plan includes a universal background check and the banning of all assault rifles. This coming after a gender reveal shooting in Pitkin, Idaho, where 7 people were injured. Jeb Cattrall, local resident and head of the Boise chapter of the NRA, had this to say, quote, "If Biden takes away all our guns, then people are just going to stab each other a lot. Then what? Take away all our knives? Then people will just get stabbed with forks. You're going to take away our forks? Then how are we going to eat, Mr. President? Joe Biden is trying to starve us all." End quote. On Facebook this week, a white man is receiving serious backlash after posting a picture of his black cat sitting inside a bucket of KFC chicken. Ryan Cooley of Bankstown, New Jersey said, "He crawled inside the bucket and I took a picture. I thought it was cute." Black Lives Matter, led by local chapter head Terrell Ortiz, swarmed his house later that evening, chanting names of people completely unrelated to anything. A new group has been formed in Los Angeles, promising to be a voice for trans women everywhere. The group, named Trans Women Allied Together, or TWAT, will be accepting new members in the upcoming weeks. In other trans news, former governor of California Arnold Schwarzenegger has spoken out about his view of trans men and women. When asked to explain his position, Arnie said, "If you watch my movie Kindergarten Cop, you can clearly see one of my students tell the other children that boys have a penis and girls have a vagina." After saying this, a reporter from CNN told the former governor that, in fact, the child star that said that was now himself a woman. Arnold replied,
"Come on, don't bullshit me."
A church in New Mexico was under fire for their Joints with Jesus assembly, who believes getting high gets you closer to God. While marijuana is still illegal in New Mexico, the majority of the community sees no problem with it. Law enforcement have relaxed criminalizing what they do, as parishioners don't bother anyone, and Sunday lunch buffets have never been more popular. When asked why he believed that mixing drugs with religion was okay, Pastor Pablo Guerrero said, "I talked to Jesus. He said, it's cool." All right, and that means it's time now for our celebrity news.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
Scientology's favorite leading man, Tom Cruise, returned his 3 Golden Globe Awards to the HFPA this week to show his outrage over a lack of black representation. Cruise is a big name in Hollywood, and some moviegoers might remember him as the lead role in The Last Samurai. Bill and Melinda Gates announced earlier this week that they will be filing for divorce. Sources claim that Bill's connection to Jeffrey Epstein was the reason for the divorce, while Melinda claims that this is absolutely untrue. A close friend of Melinda quoted her as saying, "I spent 26 years with the world's biggest nerd. I'm about to get paid." Chrissy Teigen's Cravings kitchenware line has been removed from Target's website following Courtney Stodden's claims she was bullied by the star. Courtney said she was urged by Chrissy to kill themselves at just 16 years old, in addition to publicly posting a series of hateful messages aimed towards the then minor. In response, Teigen replied, "Obviously the bitch doesn't know how to listen." And that'll do it for celebrity news. Here's a word from our sponsor. Do you want to give to a charity, but really you don't? Would you like for people to think you have a giving heart, when in reality you don't care at all about the starving children? Well then No Fucks is for you. Here at No Fucks Charity, we take your money and we don't do shit with it. Send $1. Send $100. Send a plastic bag of pubic hair. We just don't give a fuck. And now you don't have to either. And when people at the office ask you to give this holiday season, tell them you already did. You gave No Fucks. No Fucks, proud sponsor of the Special Olympics. Member FDIC. And now it's time for your Florida news. Authorities in Tampa received a frantic 911 call this week from a customer at a Walmart superstore reporting that there was a baby inside a dumpster. After a quick search of all the trash containers, police say it turned out to be a Supreme burrito. Alex Dorino, a local woman in Manatee County, was arrested for standing in a McDonald's drive-thru and offering sex for $25 and a 6-piece McNugget. Eventually, she solicited to an off-duty deputy and was arrested for suspicion of prostitution. Apparently, the officer was not loving it. A Miami-Dade man by the name of Dave Tolliver walked a toilet from his house all the way to the Dade School District offices and heaved it through a window leading to a chairperson meeting in progress. Police arrived and he was arrested without incident. When asked why he did it, Tolliver replied matter-of-factly, "Toilet is where you put shit." A man in Bal Harbor called 911 to get police to come and remove his girlfriend from his apartment. She can be heard yelling in the background before the man says, "What are you going to do? Stab me?" Paramedics later arrived and treated him for multiple stab wounds. Jeff Benoit of Silver Palms, a retirement community in Boca Raton, was arrested this week after taking police on a slow-speed chase on his riding lawnmower. While police followed him, he calmly drank a six-pack of beer, throwing his cans out when finished. The grueling chase reached top speeds of 3 and lasted for over an hour when Mr. Benoit finally fell asleep and the mower came to a halt. He was returned to his home with no injuries. No word if he was cited for mowing while intoxicated. And that is your Florida news. And now on to tech/business news. A Wisconsin group representing a Tennessee business owner is suing the Biden administration for discrimination against white men. The claim is that during COVID-19 relief efforts, money was given to minorities and women before anyone else, causing a collapse in business. Owner Pete Marshall went on record saying,
"They took our job!"
The remarkably successful algorithm that is Facebook censorship has gotten to be so strict that it forced a Swedish college to take down a video of a mammogram. The school had to Photoshop the breast as square-shaped in order to pass the security check. That is a true story. In the growing trend of woke culture, McDonald's is coming under fire for not having an African-American clown mascot. Ronald, the happy-go-lucky white-faced clown that peddles burgers to small children, has been the face of the restaurant since 1963. A corporate response was sent to the press saying, "We at McDonald's strive for diversity and believe that we contribute on a large scale to minority communities. We are currently in the process of marking a black man to play our iconic clown, and he will be known as Reginald McDonald." Another company opting to change its name will be the classic coffee brewing machine Mr. Coffee. A press release to the Associated Press said that the new name will now be Miss Coffee, but will be a trans woman so as to not offend women's rights groups by having a woman serving a man coffee. Buzz Childress, CEO of Mr. Coffee, had this to say. "So as to be as inclusive as possible, we have changed Mr. Coffee to a man who identifies as a woman. We have also gone with Miss instead of Mrs. to prove that she don't need no man." And that's it for Tech News. We're going to take another commercial break and we'll be right back. Hi, Joey Young here, coming to talk to you about HBO. Right now, HBO is offering new customers its best deal ever with your first 3 months for $5 a month and then $14.99 a month thereafter. No contract, and you can cancel anytime. See all the shows that has made HBO the leading provider in male frontal nudity. We guarantee you have never seen this many dicks in your life. Watch award-winning shows like Game of Thrones and see more cock than you'll know what to do with. You say you like dragons, well, we know why you watch. HBO. Are you sure you've had enough penis? All right, we're going to wrap things up with a little bit of sports. In sports this week, professional journalist LeBron James threatened a white police officer via Twitter by saying, "You're next," angering many Americans who claim had a white player done this, they would have lost their job and endorsements. LeBron quickly deleted the tweet as he faced significant criticism. Strangely enough, O.J. Simpson, well-known pro football player and husband of the year, commented a response to James saying that he believed the police were correct in their actions and you shouldn't be so quick to blame. Black Americans everywhere were quoted as saying, "We don't know what the fuck to think anymore." Dallas Cowboy owner Jerry Jones turned 106 this week, making Joe Biden the second oldest white man to tell black people what to do. And in other football news, the Washington Redskins, after facing a lot of Native American disapproval for their name, temporarily changed it last season to Washington Football Team until a name could be thought of to replace it. This week, owner Mac Tittleman announced that they will be keeping the original logo, but taking the feathers off of his head and calling the team the Washington Sunburns. That's going to do it for episode number 1. I hope everybody had a great time. I know I did. There's going to be a lot more to come. Check back. I don't have a specific date on when I'm going to be posting shows, but if you want to contact me, you can reach me at topcatnewsmail@yahoo.com. That's topcatnewsmail@yahoo.com. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. I'm Joe Young for Top Cat News. Cool, man. Daddy-o.